On this episode, we continue our talk about our recent trip where we stayed at the Wyndham Garden Lake Buena Vista, saw Blue October, dined at Garden Grill, and took in the Candlelight Processional with Josh Gad, and this is part 2. Today's December 16th, 2022, and this is episode 522 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. If you've not done so already, head on over to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. Then if you hit that subscribe button, you're going to get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday, and that is throughout the next 2 weeks during this holiday season. Then if you're getting ready to plan that next Disney or Universal vacation, looking to go on a cruise or pretty much travel anywhere else in the world, head to mainstmagictravel.com, fill out a form for a free quote. Our travel services are completely free to you. And finally, Main Street 16 Challenge Weekend is only a few short weeks away, the first weekend in February at Walt Disney World. If you want to learn all about the Friday event, the Saturday challenge, and learn more about Give Kids the World Village, which all of this benefits, head to mainstreet16.com. So we are actually continuing from last episode, which we recorded last weekend when we got back from our trip. It ran super duper long because we did not want to leave anything out. So we decided to cut it into 2 parts. So what we're going to do now is just play the remainder of that episode for this part 2 episode. And we're going to discuss Pizza Ponte, dining at Garden Grill, and seeing Josh Gad at the Candlelight Processional. And there might even be some mention of some dogs. Here is part 2 of our most recent trip review. Let's move on to our after Blue October event. You know, it's been a little while since we ate anything, and this would become a pizza weekend.
And how did that even work out? Like, were we just like, you knew that we could go to Pizza Ponte?
Yeah, it's open till 11:30.
Okay, so anyways, that's where we went, and we were headed out, and we were hungry, so Jeremy knew that Pizza Ponte was open till 11:30, so we're like, all right, we're gonna stop there. And they have your regular your 2 slices that are normal, like cheese and pepperoni, and it's called Big Roman. It's tomato sauce and mozzarella cheese. Pepperoni, tomato sauce, pepperoni, mozzarella cheese. Well, then they had this like big, like square looking one that was thick. And it looked incredible.
Yeah, it did.
And this one was the 4 cheese, which is mozzarella, provolone, fontina, and Parmesan cheese.
Yeah.
And this one was by far my favorite.
Oh, was it really?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And these slices
So
are
good.
running about $7 to $8 each.
Yep.
The Big Roman, the pepperoni, they're more of your traditional, like Rhonda said, New York style, I guess you would say, pizza slices. Mm-hmm. That nice thin crust, that wood fire, a little bit of that like char on the crust. And they are the size of at least 2 traditional slices of pizza, if not bigger.
Yeah.
They will ask you, they're all sitting out, they're ready to go. It's by the slice. You walk up, you get it. They'll say, do you want us to warm it up real quick? They'll fire it in the pizza oven. So we took these back to the room and we absolutely murdered these.
And we got a fancy water.
Yeah, we did. You did get a fancy water.
I was like, I need some water.
Yeah. It was so funny. We're like literally just standing at the dresser.
Oh my
eating
God,
these. They were that
so
good. I was like, I can't even sit down. This pizza is so good.
It's so good.
I will put this up there with best on property pizza that we've had. I think this is an easy contender with Via Napoli without having to sit down at a table service restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I think as far as a walk-up goes, this is the go-to. And when I say $6.95 for the Big Roman, which is just your standard cheese pizza, this is enough for one. This is kind of like a meal in itself.
Yeah.
And you could easily get away with 2 pieces, but one is probably pretty good. And especially when you get to the thicker crust with this 4 cheese one, I think it's absolutely outstanding. Pizza Ponte may show up again before this review is over. We got back to the room, we got to bed, we got up the next morning, and we were
slept
going
in
to
the next
we just
morning.
sleep
It
in a
was
little
nice. was
Well,
nice.
you did. I got up at 6:55
Oh,
to secure
did-
Cosmic Rewind.
you did, but
at
you didn't
7
fall back
a.m.
asleep.
I actually did.
Oh,
I
good.
fell back asleep to the point that I had a dream.
Oh,
That's when I know, like Tangled. Like I know when I have slept well because I have a very vivid, deep sleep dream. I usually wake up and I have drool or something as well.
oh my!
That's when I'm like, I hit it hard. So, but normally I do not fall back asleep, especially after the rush of trying to get a Cosmic Rewind virtual queue.
Yeah.
We did secure one.
Yay.
So we went ahead, we walked back down to Disney Springs, and we waited for the bus at Yacht and Beach Club so we
Mhm.
could head over to the International Gateway for Epcot. So you and I walk on the bus. There was a gentleman in front of us who got on the bus as well. We're sitting there for a few minutes. We're like, all right, probably about time this bus is going to take off. It was not quite time.
Oh my gosh!
Who would next
And
board
all
the
of
bus?
a sudden, I see all these people. Well, it's like, what the heck is going on? I don't see, like, I have to, like, because I guess I'm too short.
You were looking
Well,
out the
I
bus
was-
window. You had to look
at the
down,
bus.
kind of
I
like.
didn't look down. And all of a sudden, I finally did, and there were 20 guide dogs that all got on this bus.
This is not an overestimate. We're not
No.
like trying to be
She-
like, oh,
no.
there were like 1 million. No, this was legit
20.
20 of them. I counted them.
Yes, and they also said there's
There were
20.
20.
I don't know what they were doing, where they were going. These dogs were, and then there was a baby puppy one.
So she was so
she
cute.
was sitting near the closest to us, and she just laid down on the bus and fell asleep. Oh my God, this was incredible. And the bus driver, which I didn't catch her name, but we actually had her again
on the way back.
on the way back, and it was so funny because she remembered us.
Yeah.
And then we were like, next time we expect you to have kittens.
Yeah, she was like,
Like,
I'm sorry
it
there were
was-
no dogs
It
this
was
time.
so funny.
I would.
It was amazing.
I'm not saying that you and I and the other gentleman that was on the bus, are the first and only people to ever ride a Disney bus with 20 dogs. But I feel like it's a possibility.
I hope so, because that
like,
was
is
amazing.
that some kind? It really was.
Yep.
It was incredible. It was so neat. And
It
then
was.
yeah, and
They
so
were
these
good.
were all in
In
training,
training.
seeing eye dogs for the blind. And it was just so cool. And we kind of could overhear all of the handlers talking, and each dog had a handler. And so this bus was full. It was
It was full.
I
People were
was
standing.
trying to come up with it. Snouts the instead of nuts the butts. It was
Jeremy.
snouts the butts, I guess. But it was absolutely amazing. And then
It
some of
was.
the one in front of us, a lot of them were Goldens, and the one in front of us was just like laid out, and he or she was like would at one point
She.
was kind of like scratching her neck along the floor, and like it was the coolest
It was
freaking
super
thing
cool.
ever. So we got in, and we did end up doing Cosmic Rewind.
Yep.
Second thoughts on the holiday song?
For you?
Yeah,
Because
for
I'm
you.
fine.
Well, for you. I mean, did you enjoy
liked,
it?
I
Yeah.
liked it from the beginning.
Okay.
I wasn't the one. You were.
I liked it a lot better. I took a specific focus on really paying attention to it, and
Well, good.
I really do enjoy it. I still personally believe they could have gone a route of having more traditional 70s, 80s songs,
Right.
Christmas wrapping,
Okay.
regular Run Rudolph Run, Last Christmas, Simply a Wonderful Christmas Time. But this does fit very, very well. And I do enjoy it. I'm
Well,
super
good.
excited for the girls to
Good.
go.
Because I enjoyed it.
So, Rhonda, how does one make sure that they get a good seat for someone like the one and only Mr. Josh Olaf Gad? I assume his middle name is Olaf.
Okay. Well, we got a dining package,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go ahead and be 1,000% honest, and it was thank you, Rachel, very much.
100%. She
So-
was able to secure this package for
Yeah.
us.
So I was Miss Rachel Williams that day I was on the reservation too because we're friends and family, but still. But yeah, so we've never eaten at Garden Grill, which we were super excited because we got Garden Grill. And so we met April. So April, because she got it for 4 of us, and April and her daughter Carmelie met us there, and we had a wonderful time.
Yeah.
The food was actually, I would say I don't know why shockingly, but
I agree.
really, really good. And I would actually love to go back again at
Yeah.
some point.
I would too.
So
Yeah, so this normally Garden Grill is one of those. I think it's always flown under our radar in the sense that when I look at the menu, I'm like, okay, meat and some veggies. Like, I don't really get what's so cool about that, but everybody swears by it. And we just never did it. And so when the opportunity came up to do a dining package to secure that Josh Gad seating, which we always do normally for Neil Patrick Harris, and we're like, we got to get it or we're not getting in probably. This is one of the places that we had never done before in Epcot. Right. So we're like, let's go ahead and do it. So normal pricing is $55 for adults,
okay,
$39 or $36 for children. For the Candlelight Processional package dining, this is $71 for adults, and I believe it was $49 for children. So you're basically paying about $16 to get your guaranteed seating. Okay, sign me up.
Yep.
I think that's well worth it.
100%.
The extra cost to make sure you're getting in.
Yep.
So we have to start a harvest-inspired garden salad. We have rolls with whipped butter. We also
was all good.
Oh, also good. We have for the entree, which is served in a giant skillet, grilled beef with chimichurri, barbecue roasted chicken with a sweet and tangy barbecue sauce, creamy mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, seasonal vegetables, which for us was like I'll call it a corn succotash.
Yeah.
It was like roasted kind of corn with lima beans, I think a little onions and peppers. They have a Southern style spoon bread. And then for your dessert is a berry shortcake with whipped cream. Now, April does have some allergies.
Yes, and I was going to take about that.
Yes,
it was amazing because, they ask and then, April's like, yeah, I'm the weirdo, which she was not. But she does have gluten. She does have strawberries and bananas. And so here's the great news. Everything she was able to eat except the mac and cheese, everything was gluten friendly.
In the rolls.
But
which
they
had
brought
with
her
us.
own rolls.
Yep.
So she still got her own rolls. She was able to eat everything that we did except the mac and cheese. But she was like,
super
I'm
impressive.
good. It was.
Entire giant skillet
Yep.
filled, especially when we started talking to her and like they went to the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party and the hot chocolate had gluten in it, had wheat, and she was unaware of. And so, Disney is unbelievable with allergies and dietary needs. Yep. But it's another one of those where even they bring out the skillet and there's that toothpick.
Yep.
The allergy-friendly toothpick is sticking in it.
That's
and
cool.
the mac and cheese is served completely separate.
Yep.
It was not in the skillet.
Which she told us that anyways. She was like, the mac and cheese is served in a side dish anyways. And a shout out to Amy because one time they gave a paper straw and Amy immediately took it out and she said there's gluten in the straw. And I was like what? So it was funny because I saw Carmelite get the straw and I saw it was paper and I was like, April, do not use a straw. And I was like, Amy told me there, and she was like, what? She didn't know. And I was so I thought that was super cool. But yeah, and then for dessert, they have a berry shortcake with whipped cream.
Well, break down the food. Talk about the food. The regular food.
Well, I was going to go back to the gluten and the allergy.
Perfect.
And because of they just brought her because there's no gluten and there's the shortcake is fine, but because the berries, so they literally just brought her a cake with whipped cream and it was fantastic.
It was.
But yeah, the food was fantastic. I mean, it was great. Like the grilled beef with chimichurri was outstanding. And I love that like some pieces were a little pink. So I grabbed those. And then there were some that were a little more cooked if somebody in the table was like, I don't like mine pink.
Right.
So it was great. The seasonal vegetables was green beans. And that was so good. You love those.
They're the best green beans I've ever had.
They were so good. Creamy mashed potatoes. I mean, the Southern style spoon bread, cornbread.
We got more of that.
We got more of that because I wanted some. We got more mashed potatoes because Carmelite wanted some. Yeah, other than that, I could have I could have eaten more, but I'm like, okay, I don't want to hurt myself. I was very full where I was super excited. We had a lot of walking to do after that because we actually went back to the room to get dressed for the night. So, and shower and whatever. So it was It was really nice. And because I knew that, I think I pushed myself a little more and ate more
Yeah.
because it was so good.
No, that makes sense.
So good.
Yeah, I loved everything about this, and I was not going into this thinking I would be super impressed. Here's what I will say. This is simple food done extremely well.
And I'll say even too, because Allie and Chuck ate there and they were telling us, and I was still trying to be like, all right, I want to go in with a low expectation, even though they said that we'd love it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what happens if I go in with a higher expectation and then all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, it was fine. It wasn't that great. So I'm super excited that I went in with such a low expectation. And of course the characters, Pluto and Chip and Dale and Mickey, were all amazing. I was so excited to be able to hug them and just be back to that. And I guess you'd call it sign language almost, the way they talk.
Yeah.
And I think I know
Very
a little
charades.
Charade-y, okay. But I'm glad I know it, I feel like. Because they don't have handlers.
Right.
So the handlers always know
Yeah.
what they're saying. But I did really well, don't you think?
You did awesome.
Like, I communicated
And
with them.
these characters were so super interactive. And in I feel like one of the complaints that we see a lot is that people feel rushed by characters at some of these dining locations. And I'm not saying I've ever seen it at Garden Grill, because there's no way you could. The amount of time they spent, we got second visits. Like,
yeah, and then I felt bad because I was just like, hey, like, I'm
enjoying
eating.
my shortbread. What's up? I was so impressed by everything, even to the point, like, I remember the skillet went down and I'm like, okay, this looks pretty good. And I'm like, oh, mashed potatoes. There's no gravy. Huh. And then you ate a bite and you're like, why would you put gravy on these? They are
So
absolutely
good.
perfect.
I actually
as is.
mixed the corn and the lima beans with the mashed potatoes,
Nice.
and that was so good.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was
The chicken was outstanding too.
It was.
It was
I did take
really,
a bite
really good.
because
It
you
was
gave
nice.
me that.
Yeah, nice tender.
I ate more of the beef though.
Oh, I could have eaten more, but I stopped myself. It was so good. I was just super impressed, and I'm really, really glad that we went here and did this. I absolutely loved every
Didn't
bit
you
about
have a
it.
specialty drink?
Yes, I did. I had the spiced caramel apple, which is Fireball cinnamon whiskey, apple cider, cranberry, and salted caramel for $15.
Nice. And
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. You even had a sip.
I did.
How did you like it for that tiny little sip?
Tiny little sip. It was fine. I mean, I would have drank it if I can, but I can't do.
Yeah, you're not good with Fireball.
Nope.
They do have. I don't know if they're pre-mixed or ready-made, but they only have about 2 or 3 cocktails on the menu, and you cannot venture away from those.
No, you cannot.
Cocktails.
I asked.
So, which is fine because they have like the magical beacon, and they have a citrus like freeze one with orange vodka and things like that. So from here, we pretty much headed back to the room because we wanted to get dressed up because we were Disney bounding, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. You were Olaf and I was Anna. And it was super fun. I liked mine because it was super just jeans, black tank, a little jacket, boots. Very, very cute and very casual.
Yeah. What I think
you actually looked more like you had a bow
little
tie
fancy.
and vest.
Well, what I think makes a really, really good Disney bound, in my opinion, is one that isn't in your face. And yours was not. Yours looked like what you would literally just wear. Like somebody would just wear.
Yeah.
And then if you connect and you know, you're like, oh, that's Anna. Whereas mine, I literally wore brown dress shoes, white dress pants, a brown with black almost striped dress shirt, a white vest,
and
an orange bow tie.
Yeah.
Mine was very in your face, and it was very like, this guy's going for something. Whereas I love the fact that yours is kind of subtle in a sense.
Yeah.
And we did head back to Epcot, and we made a point that we had to go stand in line for who?
Elsa and Anna.
Yeah.
So it said about 25 minutes, and I think it was maybe 20-ish. And it was super cool because both of them completely knew exactly who we are, which made me feel really happy.
Yes.
And I mean, even Elsa was like, well, Anna was like, you look like I used to.
Yeah.
And because these are now your Frozen 2. These are your queens. And so even Elsa was like, you look like my sister. And it was just super, super, super cool. The interaction with them was amazing. And what's super amazing, and this just kills me how Disney is just super incredible. If you go meet Anna, she has an engagement ring on. This is the engagement ring that Kristoff proposed.
Yeah.
And holy crap, if you want to go see this amazing ring that she has, go stand and meet Elsa and Anna. She will show it to you.
Yeah, just ask her.
And it was stunning. And of course, it was cute because it is an orange carrot. And she said there's a lot of carrots in there.
Yeah.
And it is just seriously stunning. I don't know what it is, like, but Disney just, and it's the exact replica of what was in, which is amazing to me.
Well, what I think is so incredible that they do is the attention to detail of, these characters in these meet and greets, understanding the movies and everything. Again, for her to say like, yeah, it's got a lot of carrots in there. Sven helped pick it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, to walk up to Elsa and she'd be like, you look like my sister. And just, it was incredible.
Yeah. And I love that they got you too. You're like,
yes.
I can't
totally
remember which
understood the Olaf.
one seemed to take a little bit longer. Was like, you're Olaf. Like it was almost
Anna.
Was
yeah,
it?
I believe it was. I think this was our first experience with the automated photo pass.
I thought it was cool. You didn't.
I think that the theory in it and the technology is amazing. I was very super impressed that it was snapping photos as we were coming up. We got a photo of you hugging Anna.
Yeah.
We have a photo of you looking at her ring. I thought all of that was really good. The attention to detail in the settings on a camera were not there.
Okay.
So therefore, I felt that the actual photos in the end came out a bit muted, a bit dark. I don't feel like they had the same detail that a human being photographer knows. Let me set these settings to these things based on the current lighting, based on
have you checked? And I'm
tone,
just curious. Have you tried to edit and like lighten and do whatever?
I could try.
Because then I wonder like if they're like leaving that up too, because there's,
Maybe.
because technology is incredible.
Yeah, but unless you're building that into the app, I'm going to have to take it into Lightroom or Photoshop and do it myself. And I don't believe that
I was thinking when you download it.
Oh, just do it through the iPhone?
Yeah.
I don't believe that should be something that a consumer should be responsible for when they've paid for a product.
Oh,
in my opinion.
Wow. Okay.
I do think the technology is unbelievable, and I'm sure it's going to continue to progress.
Right.
It is a little bit awkward because you're waiting for a light. So we're standing there. They're like, you do an actual pose one. You're standing there. You're like,
I know, and I'm like,
did it go up? You go up? No, wait.
What I kind of wanted to say, but I just kept smiling, and then I waited for her to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
But we came out of the meet and greet, and there was a human being PhotoPass photographer.
That was amazing. Standing at this, where she's just standing there, and I was like,
and nobody else was there.
Nobody else was.
What is happening?
And it was this beautiful, like wooded, like shed. I don't know type situation where I finally was like, well, can I get a picture? Yeah. And we got 3 magic shots.
3.
And just pictures of us, which that's what I wanted too, because I wanted a full body of us. And that was such a great spot to do it. But the 3 magic shots were me holding Bruni, which is my favorite.
Yes.
I love it. I think I uploaded that to my Facebook as my something.
Yeah, as your profile or something.
I don't remember.
Oh, so
something.
Good.
And then there was Olaf and Sven.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, trying to be cold and be with Olaf with the snow, which was super cute. All of it was super cute.
They're some of my favorite photos now. I absolutely loved them. And I just wanted to document us within this whole evening, because we've always done this with Neil Patrick Harris, and I've always suited up, and you've put on your beautiful dresses and things like that. And it's going to be real tough when we get to next year and saying, all right, who do we pick? Like, are we going to go see Josh Gad again if he's there? We're going to see Neil Patrick Harris. Do we pick someone new? And now I feel like we're always going to have to do some sort of theme. So, like, maybe next year we see Whoopi Goldberg and we just dress as nuns.
Oh,
From Sister Act? Would that be? No.
Lord of mercy. Well, after that, anyways, before we went and
we did
saw
ride
Josh Gad,
Frozen Ever After.
we went and rode Frozen Ever After. Great ride. Love it.
That
Cute
was
little
fun.
kids in front of us.
Yes. So
and then
we lined up. We were going to see the 8:30, the very last show, the third show of the evening on Josh Gad's first night, and we were told line up about an hour early, and we're like, all right. So it was getting close to a little after 7. And we're like, let's line up now. And the standby line was redonkulous.
it was, and the second show was just starting, and everybody was lined up for the 8:30 show.
And
which was crazy.
And the crowds who weren't sat, did you see the crowd?
Standing?
They had to put tape down for a walkway because the standing room only behind everything was not like anything I've seen.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It was insane. So we got in line. We met some wonderful people in line, and we were chatting with them. So the time really passed, and then
April came
and all. And so we're going to get in, and we're walking down, and I notice the front row is wide open on the left side. And so I'm like, well, let's just go front row. We'll talk about the whole show. What do you think in general? Because if you're
thought it was
about
bad
something,
anyways. When you were going down there, I was like, oh, we don't want to sit a few rows back.
I wish y'all had corrected me on the spot and said, no, we're going over here.
Well,
it's too close.
Sometimes when you have something in your brain, you just go. And even if I said something, you just don't listen.
That's true.
So
what'd you say? Oh,
yeah, exactly.
The issue with the front row in this scenario. Now, if you're talking a festival concert series, Garden Rocks, Food and Wine, front row is going to be great.
Yeah.
The problem here is you have the entire orchestra in front of you, and behind them is the narrator.
Right.
And so you're not getting quite a good look as you look up. With that being said, this was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was.
I will apologize ahead of time to Neil Patrick Harris. I'm sure he's a big listener of the show. I love him more than anything. I want to go back and see him next year. Josh Gad was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
From the moment he stepped out, first of all, he's wearing a red suit with a no tie or bow tie or anything, but just like a white button up underneath, kind of that classic look, full red. He's just somebody that you look at and his smile just makes you happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, not getting too far ahead, of course, they bring out the orchestra. They bring out the Voices of Liberty, the conductor, the choir. As all of these come out and they're all just so dang good.
Yeah.
And Josh Gad leads it off, and he's like, this is the best time I've had since the 7:30 show.
Oh, that's funny.
And then he broke in. We were going to try and do it justice and just kind of relay to you what he said. But thankfully, Rhonda videoed the intro. So we'll just go ahead and play it. And I will already apologize for some of the laughter and the commentary you hear from Rhonda and I.
Sorry.
But here it is.
To all of you in the back, hi back there. Can you guys see me and hear me? Thank you. The only reason I'm up here is because I booked Genie Plus ahead of time. I'm so thrilled to be here, and I'm even more thrilled to finally have a reason to wear a suit to Epcot. If you are here for the first time, so am I. So this should be fun. And if you are here because you couldn't get a seat for the Neil Patrick Harris night, once again, so am I. So this should be fun.
Wow. Okay.
Now, without further ado,
this is amazing.
Let's begin.
Yeah, that is super fun. And I feel bad because we were standing in line, and the people, I was like, all these we've been to, even if they're funny, like comedians or whatever, I do feel like they're still just very to the book, to the where they just read and they're not funny or they're not. Oh my God, I was hilarious. So proven wrong.
Yeah,
which I loved, but I'm like, and then I get to wonder what does he say? they go, all right, this is what you have to do. This is what you're allowed. Like, I just would love to know, like, what are they?
Yeah.
What's the freedom they give them? What's the?
Yeah.
So.
Well, here's what I find so interesting with these things is that, and it's just the type of person I am. I'd love to know what goes on behind the scenes, like you just said. Do they? And did someone write that for him? You know, does he have a writer that said, we're going to write these jokes, we're going to whatever? I don't think so, because if you follow Josh Gad on social media and Twitter and stuff, that is so on brand for him.
Yeah.
For him to say the things that he did. It makes me feel that that is something that he wrote and came up with.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing. Did he say the exact same thing for all 3 shows? Does it differ? Does it? I don't know. I think it's so interesting. But, you know, going throughout the Candlelight Processional and this whole thing, and we've said this before, you know, I don't think you have to be super religious. I don't think you have to. I think all you have to do is enjoy storytelling and music.
Yeah.
And you will love this.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to have a quick discussion, and I am going to say this, and I mean, I'm not trying to be offensive to anyone. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm super fascinated by what it is a conductor does. Does that make sense? Because this conductor is so good. And he's so animated, but I just don't know, and I don't understand the realm of like an orchestra and singing and choir. Because as I look at the orchestra, they're all looking at their sheet music in front of them. They're not necessarily watching him.
No, they're watching him too.
They're watching him too,
Yeah.
and then he's telling the choir. But
because I've been in this before.
So what are the notes? Is he telling you when to go to certain high notes or low notes, or when to cut, when to start, when to? How does this work?
All of it.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, he's like, if it's this person that's singing over here, he's telling when to go here. He's telling when to go there. I used to play flute. So as I'm playing, and yes, I'm looking at but just like a peripheral vision, like you're looking at your notes to play, but you're also watching him. Because yeah, I mean, he directs the whole thing.
But you don't just know that. What changes? So if he's conducting in the first show of the night compared to the third show of the night, and let's just say you were playing all 3 shows, how do you just not already know those marks and those cues? And I'm being genuine. Like, I really don't understand it. I think it's super fascinating.
I think it's because it's a few things where, you know, like, you know, if you don't hold the note out, or you're at the end of, like, you got to watch him when to cut it off, because he tells you when. Like, it's very, it does seem that it's simple and it's easy.
There's so much more to it.
There's so much more to it,
That's
honestly.
super cool.
Yeah.
I spent so much time just watching him.
Yeah.
And the percussionists.
Yeah.
Holy moly, those two. That lady is going from cymbals to chimes to like a xylophone to she's going between 10 or so different percussion instruments, all within a given song. And we walked down and because April 1st was like, you're the real VIP. Like, and I was just like, these people are absolutely incredible. So we wrapped that up, and I will end it. I did not get video of this, but at the end, Josh Gad said,
and I missed it.
I know you had
my
to go to the bathroom
bladder.
super bad.
I had to go so bad. I was hurting, and I was like, I think this is it. Like, I don't think there'll be much more, because it was after the hallelujahs and everything, and it just was super cool. And then I just was like, I hurt.
Yeah, I'm sorry, because
I know
this was amazing, he looked out and he was just like, you know, thank you all so much. He's like, he was like, as a young boy growing up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and of course in just perfect fashion, he pauses. And you heard a couple little claps, and he's like, thank you to all 4 of you that also know where Fort Lauderdale is. And then he moves on. He's like, I was a young boy and I stood in the back, and like, it makes me emotional. He's like, I stood in the back and I watched the Candlelight Processional, and I thought to myself, wouldn't it be incredible if one day Disney was dumb enough to bring me in as a host? And everybody laughs, and he looks and he just goes, so for you in the back, I'll see you here on stage in 30 years. And I was like, and then he signs off and he's like, what'd he say? Warm hugs and well wishes.
Aww.
And he walks off stage, and people are just like erupt, and they're like, This was it was so
I hate that I missed that.
incredible. So from here, we'll go ahead and wrap up most of our evening, and then we'll have one more thing to talk about that we did this morning before we headed out. We went over and we're like, we met up with Tony, our good cast member friend, and we were like, we're going to go ahead and catch Harmonious. It's perfect timing.
Yep.
We went over near Italy.
Yep.
And found a pretty good spot. And we're standing there and we're back a little bit. And I'm like, hey, if we get here, we're not behind a tree. You can kind of see it from a distance. We're kind of talking, hanging out. And what happens in front of us?
Well, this guy just gets down on one knee.
Nowhere. I didn't see what.
Holy cow.
Did you see what came before it? Okay, I didn't either. Okay.
And all of a sudden, she's walking in front of him, I think, and then he kind of grabs her, but he's down on one knee so quick, opens the ring box, and I'm like, oh my God, and getting my phone and trying to video. And I mean, this was like literally like, I don't even know if this was 6 feet in front of us. Like, I think you could have laid down and we'd have been touching.
That was the furthest away it was 6 feet.
Oh,
yeah.
100%. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I even looked at her ring. I was like, congratulations.
Yeah.
And then I was like, can I see? It was gorgeous.
Watching her was incredible.
It was super cool.
She was so taken aback and so surprised.
I have the video, so we can post under this.
Immediately, I think I already did put it in Main Street
Oh, you
Magic
did?
Community on Facebook.
Okay.
She immediately broke into tears. She was just in awe, like, covering her mouth, and then she would like almost like collapse a little bit, get back up, and hugged and kissed, and they had friends there that were videoing as well. And it just, I've said before, I'm personally have never been a public proposal person.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing and I love it. And I wish I had the whats to perform that and do it.
Well, not only was that happening, but what was happening right there on the...
Well, we'll talk about that, but I was going to say, I think I'm at a point where if I went back
You'd propose...
with our love of Disney and everything, I could see myself now having done it at Disney. And just blocking out everyone around and just saying, this is about you and me.
Aww.
I'm going to do this in public, but I'm making this happen. And we've seen so many at Disney. Like, we've actually seen a lot.
But
I think it's the first one we've seen outside of Magic Kingdom in front of the castle.
But that also was right in front of us.
I felt like we were a part of it. Like, I felt like they were our friends and we were watching.
I did too. I was like, oh my gosh.
But let's move on to what was going on at a constructed stage right there next to the Italy
stage is always
booth.
there. It's always
there.
there.
That's right. It's like that walk-up platform area with the steps. That's right. Okay.
There was a bride and groom. And they were getting pictures done. Like, I'm like, oh, somebody had some money.
Harmonious
in the background. And I got a picture, so we can put that on Facebook
too. The photo
too.
you took was really, really good, considering you weren't a part of this.
Yeah.
Production.
I walked over there
I
was like, I'm going to take a picture because this is
stunning.
amazing.
Absolutely.
Oh my God,
amazing.
the dress was gorgeous. Everything was beautiful. Beautiful.
It was so cool.
It
like,
was.
literally, these are happening like in connection. I hope that couple in front of us that got engaged gets married at Disney. And if you're listening, invite us.
Okay. They don't even know us.
So we went ahead and we left and we got on the bus. Talk about our wonderful new college program cast member friend.
Oh, yeah, that was super cool. Jeremy pulled that out. Like, I was like, wow.
As soon as I saw her, I was like, that is a cast member.
He knew.
And she probably looks like she's in the college program.
Yep. So we talked with her the whole way back to Disney Springs. And then since we were there, and this was now 10:30 probably, because Harmonious ends at 10.
Yeah, roughly.
So I was like, I'm kind of hungry again. You want to go?
You were dead set on pizza for a good hour prior to us getting to Disney Springs. And I was not arguing it. I was like, Rhonda wants late night pizza again? I didn't want to bring it up, but I'm going to go along with it.
I ate all the carbs this weekend.
We ate every
all
carb.
Of them.
Every single
So
carb.
anyways, we went and we got pizza again. And we got 3 slices and a tiramisu. And these were all the square ones. So they were the thicker stuff. And one was a spicy, one was not.
Yeah, so we did the Parma Ricotta, which was Parma ham, mozzarella, and ricotta cheese, and this, for $8.25. This had big dollops of ricotta melted in the middle of the pizza.
Good.
That was the one that, as we're walking back, you're like, open it up, just take a bite. And I'm like, let's just get back to the room. And you're like, open it up and take a bite. So we both took a bite.
So good.
And then we got back to the room. The other one we got was the San Girano. This was tomato sauce, mozzarella, fontina, sweet Italian sausage, onions, and hot cherry peppers. And then we had one I could not place it on the menu that I believe was straight up pepperoni and sausage.
I thought we had 2 spicy ones, but I don't remember.
I think
now.
the sausage was a little bit spicy in the one with the pepperoni.
Well,
Um,
either way,
Pizza Ponte.
it was
so good.
so good. We destroyed that pizza.
There was not a scrap left.
Nope. Ate it all.
And I will say, I woke up this morning and you were like, you want to walk down to Disney Springs? And this is another thing. Why don't you talk about one of the things that we actually love about staying here that we don't do when we're on.
We don't ever go to Springs.
In Disney owned properties.
We don't ever go to
When
Springs.
we wake up on Sunday morning or whatever and we're ready to leave, we
just go home.
leave.
Yep.
But this is different, right?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, we don't ever hardly go to Disney Springs for one, unless there's something where we're like, okay, there's this merch that we have to go get or whatever. And then I'm like, shoot, I have to go to Disney Springs. I kind of love that we're there at Disney Springs because then it's just easier to be there. And I like walking around it. I like walking in the mornings. I like walking at night. I just love it. I love it, period. So anyways.
You were somehow hungry.
Yeah, I don't know how, but I was. So, and I think because, again, it's my vacation a little bit. So I'm like, I can eat.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like I may have been the dominant eater of pizza that night.
Oh, I think so. I don't think I ate that because
I don't think you had that much.
I will say, I wasn't going to tell this story, but unfortunately, at one point last night while I was eating, I bit down, and the way I did, I bit the front of my tongue, and I pretty much joked with the girls and was like, I pierced it. I bit it like darn hard.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh my gosh, like, is it still there? Like I didn't bite a tip off, right? Like it was crazy. So needless to say, I think I kind of didn't eat much more after that. So, and I'm all good now. I mean, like it's going to heal. Good news is, and I don't know if you know this fun fact, that your mouth is the quickest healing on your body.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
So it'll be fine
I
in a
got
day or
stitches
two.
in my tongue once.
I'm glad I didn't need them.
I was
That'd have been crazy.
I was a young lad, and we were at a friend's house, and they had a playground set up out back, and it had this ladder swing. Which why would you put those two words together and create a swinging ladder? It sounds awful to begin with.
Yeah, it kind of does.
And it was like 3 steps up, and it swung on their playground, and I was climbing up it, and I slipped, and I came down, and my jaw hit on one of the rungs, and my mouth was open at the time, and I guess my tongue was sticking out enough that I bit all the way into my tongue and had to go to the emergency room and get stitches in my tongue.
Well, that's crazy because remember when Kaylin Lacey fell and she pretty much pierced her tongue with.
Well, we were waiting for Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular.
But a lot of times they can't. Sometimes they can't sew that up. But
it was at a spot I guess you could. And
Okay.
ever since then, I have not been able to eat Nerds candy for whatever reason. Something about the solid sugar, when it would get on
funny.
that scar part, it would burn like crazy.
Oh, that's crazy.
So, another
But yeah,
little
so anyways,
fun fact.
So the next morning, and I love walking Disney Springs. So I was like, well, here's the sad part. One of the last times we were there, we did get breakfast from Earl Sandwich, and we were very disappointed.
Yeah.
So before we had Everglazed and we had the egg and cheese sandwich. So the next time we were like, we need to do what it's called the breakfast Sammy, and the egg and cheese is just $8. The breakfast Sammy is $10, and that is when you can add bacon or sausage. So we walked. Ham. Oh, was it ham too?
Yep.
So we walked all the way down to Everglazed, and they, of course, had Disney Christmas donuts. So I had to take one home to the girls, and then we got our breakfast Sammy, and I mean, it is on a brioche bun, and this is what Earl of Sandwich should be serving because it is it is so amazingly homemade.
Yeah,
it's fan-flippin-tastic. I mean,
it is so good.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's everything you want in like kind of a greasy breakfast sandwich, down to
and not
it
even
coming
that
in that
greasy,
tinfoil
though.
wrapper. It's really not that
That's
greasy. You're
really
right.
the
No, you're
great
correct.
part. It's
Yeah.
really not. It's 2 eggs, it's cheese, and it's bacon, and it's on this bun where the bun's super soft and a little sweet.
Little
and
sweet,
it's
yeah.
so good that it's not even greasy at all because it doesn't soak up. Like literally,
True.
I ate some of it, and then halfway home, I was like, I'm gonna eat. Well, not even halfway, but probably 20, 30 minutes into our drive, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna eat the rest of this now, and it's still good.
Yeah,
so good.
Love it.
Yep,
absolutely love it. Man, is that it? This was a good one.
This
was a
was.
lot. We really accomplished a lot this weekend. We
and
had
then
a fun,
we came home.
Yeah, we had a fun-filled weekend.
I tasted the Everglazed donut.
It was super good.
It's super good.
I
Did you
tried it
taste?
too. I did.
Okay.
I took a little bite.
And in this one, so they usually have so much going on, and I knew the girls really like a plain donut with like sometimes it's just a plain icing with sprinkles, and this actually looks like a wreath, super pretty and super good.
Yeah,
just very plain, like great icing on top.
Yeah, I loved
sprinkles. Perfect.
I thought it was so good.
Perfect donut.
It was such a fun weekend. It was so cool. We experienced some new things that we had not done in a long time, or not done. You know what I mean? Like, I meant to say we have not experienced some new things in a long time, like going to Garden Grill.
Correct.
And those types of things. So that was super fun. We do have our Christmas trip coming up, which we are very excited for.
Yep.
We did some planning for that tonight with the family, a little family meeting. So that's coming up here soon. Can't wait to share
Super
all of
excited.
that with you guys. If you want to follow along with all of this type of stuff, you can catch us on social media at Main ST Magic. Of course, you can check out live streams and more at wonderlandcrew.com. That is our Patreon group. If you subscribe, you get all these brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And your Christmas gift to us could be to simply leave a rating and review.
Because it'll help our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.